So yeah, I mean, I also had quite a bit of those $10,000 pizza, you know, days. Like I think I must have sent more than 10,000 bitcoins.
Changing the world, one blockchain at a time, with George Levy. Brought to you by Blockchain Institute of Technology.
Hi, and welcome to Changing the World, one blockchain at a time, where we feature the leading minds and personalities in blockchain, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency. Today's guest is Raj Patel. Raj is the founder of Speed, a cutting-edge payments platform built for the Bitcoin Lightning Network. He's an entrepreneur and a product leader with deep expertise in blockchain product development and financial strategy. Through Speed, he's on a mission to make Bitcoin transactions faster, easier, and more affordable for users around the world, without compromising on security or privacy. Raj, I am very excited about this interview and looking forward to speaking with you.
Yeah, same here. Really excited to connect back with you. I mean, I know we haven't spoken in person, but I've taken some of your courses, and it kind of got me started back in 2017. So I mean, I feel very familiar talking with you because I think I already spent some time with you.
And I'm so very glad to know that you saw the vision. I've always said we are changing the world one blockchain at a time, and you took that on. You said in 2017, you took one of the courses, and here we are today. So I want to ask you, Raj, because you're doing something really powerful. What inspired you to create Speed?
Sure. Uh, so my journey with Bitcoin started back in 2012 and maybe early 2013 when I happened to read about this in Wall Street Journal, and I was already into Austrian economics. I had done my MBA and studied quite a bit of economics, but I mean it was. I had kind of given up that the Austrian economics would ever happen, or we're going to have the fiat economy forever. I mean, it was kind of accepted, and like we had learned to live with it. So, seeing the implementation of Bitcoin, which aligned very well with this new economic theory, was how I kind of got started with the Bitcoin. But initially, for me, Bitcoin was all about just using it, transacting with it. So I would sometimes send it to my friends, they would send it over to me, and like sometimes we would hire some developers. I used to do a lot of like smaller projects, and we would hire developers from overseas. And it's always difficult to transact cross border with US dollar because of sanctions, or the cost of the transaction for international wire would be extremely high. So there are a lot of frictions in the fiat economy as we know it. And so we just asked some of our developers, like, how about we send you bitcoins? And I mean, most of them actually knew about the Bitcoin, and most of these developers were from like Eastern European countries. So I would say Ukraine, Romania, some from Russia. And I mean, I found that they were pretty convergent with it, and like, okay, send over the Bitcoin, will work for Bitcoin. And yeah, I think I've sent like hundreds of Bitcoin over to them.
I totally get it. I totally get it. I got paid Bitcoin for a very long time as well. And you have to spend it because you have to pay the bills. But Bitcoin being, when you spend it at less than 1,000, and now saying that same Bitcoin is worth over 100,000 today, you're like, whoa, I wish I would have held those Bitcoins.
So yeah, I mean, I also had quite a bit of those $10,000 pizza, you know, days. Like I think I must have sent more than 10,000 bitcoins.
I
Uh,
totally get it. And that's
so
beautiful, man.
yeah. So and then I think 2017 when the price again started going up, and we saw the chatter in media and everything, and I was like really intrigued, like, oh, this thing isn't dying, like, this still survives. I mean, after so many hiccups, it just keeps coming back, every year after year after year. Usually with the tech fed, I mean, in San Francisco Bay Area, like, tech fed is like a, like, they come and go every like couple of years. Something and
Sure.
thing or other new thing always keeps happening. And Bitcoin was like one thing that won't die. Like, it just kept coming back again and again. And 2017 is when I kind of, like really felt that, oh, this thing isn't dying, and I think I need to really look under the hood and like understand. And that's how I started looking for a good educational content related to Bitcoin, blockchain, all the technologies that go under that. And I ended up on your course at Udemy, and wow, that is like a really good start. So I got a really good start on the technology, and then I went. It kind of drove me into the rabbit hole, and I learned about Bitcoin, and then all the shortcomings, and like all the debate that was going on in terms of scalability, security, decentralization, all that then moved over to Ethereum. And like the Ethereum community had its own things going on, and both of them had a very different culture. Bitcoin community is like Bitcoin maximalist type, very purist, and extremely detail oriented and very conservative, I would say, when it comes to changing the code. Like even today, like even the smallest of the change, if you really want to get it through the Bitcoin improvement proposal, I mean, it's going to take years. And so it's conservative. On the other hand, the Ethereum community was like more like the Facebook like initial days, where ship the code, break the things, and move fast, kind of a culture. And so I mean, I was able to relate to both, I would say. Like I mean, on a one hand, I understand that we're trying to create $1 trillion like economy, alternative economy, on which uh, tomorrow's banks and fintech and everything that we do with the fiat is going to rest. So the base layer, and I get the Bitcoin maximalist argument that the base layer has to be like rock solid, highly decentralized, and should remain uncompromised. So every change has to be very deliberate, very well thought out, and every move has to be very calibrated. um, but on the other hand, I mean, I can relate with Ethereum and the altcoin community, or crypto, um, that there is a lot that could be tried, like you need to keep experimenting, and eventually you're going to land on some use cases which are going to be stickier, and then they would help you to quickly kind of bring more users into the cryptocurrency as a whole, right? So for example, one of the big success of alternative non-Bitcoin blockchain would be the stable coins, right? The stable coin, I believe that's one killer applications that the non-Bitcoin blockchain found and really made it possible. And I think you know it's something that's going to be very sticky. Even if you go with the Bitcoin Las Vegas that just happened a day, like this day
Yeah,
before
yeah, yeah.
yesterday, right? I mean, there's so much discussion about stable coins and everything. So yeah, I mean, I went through all this, thing for about 2 3 years while I was actually working on my first startup. So I was already, so 2011 to 2016, I was in Amazon. I was working as product manager. I was in finance roles. I did a lot of things within Amazon here in San Francisco Bay Area. And then 2016 is when I started my first startup. In 2017, I left Amazon and decided to focus full time on that. This startup was related to the e-commerce, had nothing to do with payment technology. But Bitcoin and blockchain, starting 2017, always became like a side project for me, and something that I would do it as kind of a stress buster. Just wanted to get out of what I was doing on day-to-day basis and switch over to something else, and that would always be Bitcoin or Ethereum, and writing smart contracts and experimenting with that. So yeah, I mean, 2021, I got a pretty good exit from my first startup, and I felt very secure and confident that I can I'm able to do it, and I can build the products, I can scale them up, and I can make a proper businesses. And I was kind of thinking, what should I be doing next? And I mean, it was kind of obvious, but I just wanted to make sure that if I get into something, then I have to have a proper vision for it. And there has to be a path. I would say, like largely, not everything is always going to be figured out, but largely, like, where I want to kind of take this thing and spend my next 5-10 years, and that
I
kind of
love it.
led to the speed. Yeah, so 2021 I exited the first one. I had to support due to the contract, like post acquisition and everything. 2022 is when I started getting more time, and I'm like, okay, let's work on the lightning network, which I had been working
Beautiful.
for 2-3 years already, as a side project, as a side hustle, and kind of following it very closely. So I was like, okay, let's try to productize on top of the lightning network. I feel really good about it. I feel very confident about it. There's a lot of like FUD about lightning network, because of largely the altcoin or other blockchain case for their, and how they would justify their existence was always that
Sure.
a Bitcoin cannot scale for
What a
like millions
huge
of
issue that they bring up.
transactions.
Agreed.
Yeah. And uh, Lightning Network kind of solves that. I mean, it does. I mean, it did have a lot of problems that were solved over the time. I think they were right probably in 2017, 18, or even say 19, but 2020, when, a lot of these issues were figured out and solved. And again, Lightning Network is open source. There's like really no company behind it to market that, oh, we kind of solve the problem, and that there's just developers who would just have the heads down and keep solving one problem after another. But there was nobody to market all those things, and I was so very close, so I could see that, oh, I mean, this just works. I mean, this works pretty well, and felt extremely confident about Lightning Network. So I'm
That's
like, okay,
fantastic.
yeah, let's latch on to this, and try to create a product on the top of the Lightning Network and see where it goes, right? I mean, I was not, I mean, I had already had a success, and I was pretty secured. And so I was like, okay, if it works, works. It doesn't work, I'll move on to something else after 3, 4, 5 years, but let me give my 5 years to this. And I feel extremely passionate about Bitcoin and Lightning. And I think, I deserve to uh, work in what I like now. I think I've graduated to that point.
That's fantastic. You know, Raj, the best part, just to put things in context. So we got back together again because I actually went to Steak and Shake, which I love their burgers. And I went and I actually bought a burger paying with Bitcoin, and I had it on the Lightning Network. And what wallet did I use? Speed.
Yeah.
So it was an extremely easy process. I just downloaded it into my mobile device. My Android is right here. I downloaded it. It's also available on iOS. And it's very, very easy to set up. And to tell you the truth, it was like faster than any credit card transaction. It was like, boop, done, paid. That whole thing, me being a Bitcoin user, I've actually paid with Bitcoin multiple times since, I tell you back 2017, I actually spent most of my time, I paid for as much as I could in Bitcoin. And the experience was very different. With the Speed wallet, it literally lives up to its name. It's lightning fast and very easy to use. It's very, very exciting for
Yeah.
people that will not or yet don't know about Speed. Can you tell us a little bit more about, why you really push the Speed experience and what you really focus on?
Yeah. So with Speed, we are like 100% focused on Lightning technology as an underlying technology to build on top of. So the way we started back in 2022, I started putting the team together. We really have a great team of engineers who are, who had a considerable experience back on Bitcoin, but now, once I got them on board, we had to train them on the Lightning Network and how to productize on top of that. So the approach that we took with the Speed was, let's first get a really good understanding of the technical details or nitty gritties of how the Lightning Network works, where uh, how to optimize the whole system, how to set up the node, like just basics, but doing it really really well, and like grinding it really in detail. So we kind of followed the Bitcoin ethos, and applied to this, like go slow, but do like a really um, detailed oriented, step by step methodical approach to creating the product, rather than just create something, ship out, just throw anything out and see whether instead we took the a completely alternative approach, very much mimicking the overall Bitcoin approach. Uh, so we had the team, we got a good grooves into the technology, and then it was all about like product, like what should be the approach. So we learned we I had used Stripe in my previous startup, and I was like really impressed with how they are set up and how they have been able to completely disrupt the fiat uh, payment. I would say the whole fiat payment fintech area with the kind of approach that they had taken of first developer focused API driven company, and then build apps on top of that, and then create a developer community and go with that, right? So we wanted to bring the same. I mean, we're really impressed, and we're like, okay, let's try to bring the same strategy onto the top of the Lightning Network. So we create a very clean slate of APIs, very well documented, very well polished, and put it out as our first product. Right? So there are this set of APIs that you could actually find it on trispeed.com, which very well documented, but it basically black boxes everything Lightning underneath it. So we have like several different type of Lightning nodes, huge Lightning node infrastructure that we manage underneath it. Whole Bitcoin node management happens underneath it. So liquidity management, channel management, there's so much that basically was earlier, as a developer or maybe as a Lightning developer, you would had to do all these things uh, on your own. Like, you would have to set up the node. You would have to kind of start from there. Like, okay, which hardware do I use, and like, what node uh, software should I run, and like, how to run it, and all those things, right? We kind of black boxed everything, every detail of like, you just give you a clean slate of APIs. You basically register, get the API keys, and start running with the Lightning. You're sending, receiving the payment, you're doing the refunds. Basically all the use cases that you can think of in the traditional world can be now simulated to be working on the Lightning exactly in the same way, but much better, much faster, much less cost. Uh, because you're now leveraging the Lightning Network, which has its own advantages. So we were able to leverage everything that's good about the Lightning, abstract it out, bring and kind of make it available as a set of APIs, right? So that was our first product, and then we kind of put it out, reached out to the developer community, and a lot of people actually have built a lot of different apps using our APIs.
That's
uh,
amazing.
so yeah, I mean, it was and then because we had so many different developers building, and we started running quite a bit of volume, so I think I would say we would be amongst the top 15 nodes right now on the Lightning Network.
Amazing.
Yeah. And
That's
Lightning Network
beautiful.
has pretty big exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken and all this. Like, they're pretty big, but we run quite a bit of volume on Lightning Network, and not everything is driven by our wallet and our merchant apps. There's a lot of third-party developers just plugging in our APIs and going wild with it, and the scalability is another thing that we worked really. Security and scalability are like two other key areas that we spend a lot of time on.
I love it.
Security, yeah, security, decentralization. Our nodes are like all over the world, highly decentralized, very resilient architecture. Uh, plus, when it comes to scalability, I mean, we can do 10 million transactions per second. That's
Amazing.
that we build, like, or even more. I mean, that's
I hope you get there. I tell you, my experience at Steak and Shake was seamless. I actually have a video that I posted on it. I recorded because I was so excited. I want the whole world to see this.
yeah,
And I didn't know about you. I mean, I knew I had downloaded this wallet. I knew it was speed, but I didn't know you. And you had actually taken one of my courses in 2017. And now here we are.
yeah.
It's a beautiful interface. I actually love it. And I won't use it just at Steak and Shake. I'll use it anywhere I can do lightning payments. It's a beautiful, beautiful interface. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we started with the APIs, and then first build like the merchant services on top of that. a POS on top of that. This is like all in-house thing. And
And
then
for the people that may not know, point of sale is the POS. So basically, you can with Steak and Shake being able to have a point of sale, like somebody that wants to have a point of sale, or they can use your platform. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
exactly. Yeah. And then the third product or third app that we made using the same APIs was Speed Wallet that you use to make the payment at Steak and Shake. So Speed Wallet, we just put it out in, I think, towards the start of 2024 on both the app stores. And we haven't marketed this wallet at all, like no performance market. It just, people started downloading it, loving it. You can see the reviews. People love using it. It's
I
so
recommend it to everybody I run into. It's a gorgeous interface, by the way. Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. It's just super easy to use,
I
and
keep
we
wanting to
we are
pull out my
heavily
wallet.
yeah. So yeah, I mean we just put the wallet out as an experiment. Like really, we just wanted to show to the developer communities that you can make a wallet like this, and with our APIs. But the wallet actually took off on its own. Like we started having hundreds of downloads, and as of today, I think we are close to about 850,000 users. Incredible. Just like within a year and a half, with no performance marketing of any kind, just all, people finding it or hearing about it and just downloading it and, using it, loving it. So yeah, I mean, it's been a huge success, I would say, to have that wallet. And now the POS also taking off. And everything that I kind of thought about how it should be back in 2022, I mean, in terms of technology, we have already achieved it. Now I think we're at a point where, whether it's all about, like, make reaching out to the market and, evangelizing this, and, making them realize that they're going to see considerable saving, much better user interface, and it's something that could be used. It's ready, like, it's ready to be used in real life.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going
Yeah,
to be including the links to get it. It's tryspeed.com. That's the main
correct.
website. And then
Yeah,
it's also available on the iOS store. It's available on Android. And it's I will be providing as much information as I can for anybody that's interested in finding about speed. Thank you so very much, Patel. What an amazing opportunity. Raj.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, thank you so much for that. And um, yeah, I really look forward to, seeing if you would, love to integrate our speed APIs just right on your educational content. That would be great.
Completely going to be implementing it on top of. We're going to use a Blockchain Institute of Technology. I'll be implementing the POS option as well. I tell you, it was a beautiful interface that what I experienced, and I'm very excited to see everything you're doing. You definitely know your stuff. You've been around for a long time, and what I love about it is that in the vision of what Bitcoin, the community itself is, I didn't have to ask permission to get into Bitcoin, and neither did you. You
Yeah,
know, and just to see that in 2017, you saw a course, you already had an idea, and you didn't have to go, oh, can I please do this? You just took it on and did it. And look at where you are. And I hope I can help you go even bigger and change the world.
yeah, that's the beauty of open source, development. So you just latch on and build whatever you want, and some things stick, some other things may not. But yeah, it's always fun. Yeah. So the other thing that we have been like really focused on, and probably I would like to highlight, is
Please.
stable coins on the Lightning Network. It uses the Bitcoin rails. It's native to the Lightning Network. I think Tether made an announcement recently that they're bringing the USDT stablecoin onto the Lightning Network, and
Sure.
they again reiterated that yesterday. I think Paolo, who is the CEO of Tether, he made an announcement that they would be launching stablecoins on Lightning Network. So, as I said earlier, the stablecoins were the killer applications on the other blockchains. But yeah, I mean, we're going to steal quite a bit of volume from the other blockchains and bring that onto the Lightning Network, and basically apply everything that's good about the Lightning Network to the stablecoin. Stablecoin would be like the other huge growth area. That is what we believe here at Speed. We are Bitcoin first. However, I mean, I come from India, where I always saw the value of Indian rupee. in terms of US dollar. Okay.
Mm,
For me, if somebody comes and tells me, if I was back in India, about the Bitcoin, the learning curve for me would be significantly longer. But if somebody came and told me that, do you want US dollar? And then, I would immediately buy into that. There would
sure,
not be.
because people are familiar with it. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they've been measuring the value of their currency in US dollar terms. US dollar being the reserve currency has always been kind of, this is something that, being in US, people wouldn't do not ever realize how big the US dollar is outside of the US.
Right.
And it's the unit of measurement for most of the currencies. People see their currency's performance in, it gets highlighted in media day in and day out. Every business channel talks about it, right? So having stablecoin on the Lightning Network and making it available for people to easily swap between Bitcoin and stablecoins and move the stablecoin at the speed of the Lightning using the Bitcoin rails, is when we will be able to bring billions of people who are outside of the US into the crypto world, I would say. And then they are just step away from Bitcoin. I think once they use the stablecoin on the Lightning Network and see how easy, how low cost it is to transact all across the world, um, they would eventually also learn more about Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin adoption goes up. They see the number going up. I mean, so basically, our um, so f- coming from India, like Indian rupee to USD. Now, if I directly have the USD, my unit
Sure.
of account is going to change to compare it to the Bitcoin.
Right.
So yeah, so now with US dollar, I'm going to compare it to the Bitcoin, and eventually people would get into the Bitcoin. So I think stablecoin kind of paves the path for bringing a lot of billions of people into the. So this is like one thing that we have focused uh, a lot in last year and a half. We work very closely with Lightning Labs, which came about with something called Taproot Assets Protocol.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah, and I think they made an announcement in 2021 or 22, Miami, Bitcoin Miami, yeah, Miami, and we picked it up from there and started developing on top of that. So if you go to the Speed wallet, you will see the USDT, USDC both available, and we let you bridge from Tron and
I
Ethereum
saw that.
to a
I
Lightning
saw that.
Network.
TRC20, ERC20s. Yeah.
Yeah, so ERC, TRC20s onto the Lightning Network. You spend it on the Lightning Network. So, even if the invoice is in Bitcoin, right? So if you go to Stake and Shake today, you're going to see the Bitcoin Lightning invoice.
Sure.
But you don't need to have the Bitcoin to make a pay to pay that.
Ooh,
You if you had the USDT or USDC on our wallet,
wow.
you could just scan the same invoice and the payment would work.
You know what? That is the most insightful thing because part of me is like, I love the experience of buying in Bitcoin, but I'm like, do I really want to spend Bitcoins if I have US dollar stable coins available? I'd rather spend the dollars at this moment. So what you're saying is that with speed, I could actually do that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
why we need this call.
the stablecoin on the Lightning Network. You take the stable coin, spend it on the merchant end, right? Stake and Shake has option to accept your payment both in terms of stable coin and on in terms of Bitcoin. Like they can
Interesting.
do
That's
both, right? So
fantastic.
but the underlying rails are still Bitcoin. We're transacting, through Bitcoin. So the payment hops as a Bitcoin and gets translated into the USDT at both the end, at the payer and the receiver. And this happens natively, seamlessly. We created a tokens
I love it.
on the Bitcoin blockchain and brought it out into the layer two and now running with it. So
Yeah.
it's an incredible technology and
And it's
yeah,
beautiful. It's
yeah,
really easy. It's so simple. And I have to say, I congratulations, because the fact is, all that you're telling me, I don't have to think about that. To me, it was an experience just like I could just click and point and buy a burger. That's it. It's all so incredibly easy. Just point and pay.
yeah.
Beautiful. And in fact, I show that in my video. I actually walked in. I had a friend who say, "Hey man, can you record this?" So I'm like, and it's like the first shot, gorgeous experience. So congratulations again. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Jared. Yeah, so I mean, it would be great if you could make one more course on Lightning Network,
I
and we'll
will.
be happy to support it. I think
I
there's a
will.
lot happening on the
You're
Lightning
on
Network.
video now. You're on video now. I
Yeah,
am going to make a course on Lightning Network, and I will get your support. I will include talking about you, and probably do a use case where I'm actually using my Speed Wallet. And
yeah, that would be
but yeah,
interesting.
definitely, that's a great suggestion. I would love to work with you. Wonderful, Raj.
Yeah, Jared, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for the time, and I love talking with you. And yeah, I look forward to the Lightning Network, tutorial video.
I look forward to seeing you keep changing the world, Raj. All the very best to your team. You are doing amazingly good work. Thank you for being in the show. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something in the process. I bring you brand new videos every single week, so make sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm George Levy. We're changing the world one blockchain at a time. See you next time.